What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Let Us Pray. I sincerely hope you're having a blessed and a prosperous day, man. It's Monday. We got something going on in the background. Hopefully everything's okay. See a lot of sirens. Fire department, ambulance back there. It's been an emotionally draining weekend for me. The most recent murder of an unarmed black man, Mr. George Floyd, has sparked an outcry from people of all races demanding justice, demanding social reform, demanding change to the way the black race is treated by law enforcement, and mainly, I would say mainly white officers. People that were once friends on social media have unfriended each other because of their differences on this topic. Let me say this, and you might unsubscribe, and that's fine. But when black people are being executed and murdered senselessly and emotionlessly by white law enforcement officers, and black people want to stand united and declare that their lives matter, this is not a platform for anybody to come and say, but what about all lives? All lives matter. Like, I'm gonna literally scream the next time someone says that to me. For one, it's very insensitive of the climate that we're in right now. Two, if your race is being oppressed, and you see people that look just like you getting shot and gunned down in the middle of the street on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, then by all means, bring that to our attention. But until then, please be quiet. We ain't talking about your lives. We're talking about black lives. Black lives are the lives that you see on TV getting taken from them. Black lives are the lives you see, whether it's shot, whether it's choked out, whether it's tased, whatever the case may be, for either minor offenses or traffic offenses, or whether the car is broken down on the side of the road. I mean, if you go back and look at the history of some of these occurrences where these black men were killed either by law enforcement officers that were on duty or off duty, or guys that consider themselves, good Samaritans, doing their Samaritan duty by checking to make sure this black man belongs here because he doesn't look like he belongs, which is none of your business. These stories are so diverse. They're so different, and yet they're so similar, which is scary, right? If there was just one, if you knew, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, then maybe, maybe a black man feel a little more comfortable. Maybe I shouldn't do this, right? But maybe I shouldn't have my car break down on the side of the freeway. Or might get shot. Maybe I shouldn't go to the dog park and ask someone to, well, this guy didn't get shot, but I mean, it could have potentially went bad. Maybe I should go to the dog park and stress, the rules to people that don't have dogs on the leash. Maybe I should jog through the neighborhood. Maybe I shouldn't go to the store and walk back with a hoodie. Maybe I shouldn't wear a hoodie. Go on and on. Why are black men such a threat? Why is it such a threat to see a black man? I was thinking about that last night and this morning. Why are black men considered so dangerous? Why are we such a threat to society? Why is it that it seems like we're expendable? And some of these white men think they're doing their duty as white American citizens to kill a black man, to kill as many as possible. Why is that? And I was really thinking about that, like, why do they want to kill us? That's the ultimate question. And it goes beyond just racism, okay? Obviously it's racism, but it goes beyond that. What's the reason why? What's the reason why? And I started thinking about the history of Africans. When we were transported, we were stolen, I should say, from our own native country in Africa. Continent, I should say. Continent of Africa. Various countries, various tribes. Sold into the transatlantic slave trade. We were piled up like sardines in these massive ships, given little to no food, no medical treatment, laying on top of one another. The long ride we endured. Many of us died. Either voluntarily or succumb to just the circumstances. Some threw themselves off the side of the ships. They were able to break free. Some were thrown off the side because they were either sick or refused to comply. Chained together and sank to the bottom of the ocean. For those that made it to the Americas, and mainly the United States, we were sold like furniture. We were sold like assets. Sold like produce in the grocery store to the highest bidder. Just how you can purchase a car at an auction, how you can purchase a storage unit that's been abandoned. We can auction that off. That's how black people were sold. Once they were sold, they were forced to give free labor so that this country could profit, maximize its profits, and build its great wealth. Working in the cotton fields, tobacco fields, picking cotton, men and women, boys and girls. Those that rebelled, some were beaten mercilessly with whips, like you would whip a cow or a horse with, which left permanent scars for life. Some were lynched. Don't know what lynching is? It means you've been hung from a tree with a rope around your neck, with the life squeezed out of you. That sounds familiar, right? Mr. Floyd didn't get a rope around his neck, but he had a knee on his neck, and he had the life squeezed out of him by Derek Chauvin. Some were castrated. If you don't know what castrated means, that means their genitals were removed. In other words, they were emasculated. Some were forced to see their wives raped, their daughters raped. It's not their children, girls and boys taken from them, their wives taken from them. Families were split apart. Mothers and daughters were split. Fathers and sons were split. They refused to let us educate ourselves. We were not to know how to read. We were not to know how to write. Only minimally were we to be able to count, just to be able to know how much we were to produce for the slave owners. We're treated less than a pet. We were treated like wild animals. Something you wouldn't even wish on your worst enemy. Some slaves were even boiled in hot water. If you've never seen that movie, Mandingo, you need to check that out. Despite all these horrific, terrible, tragic, heinous crimes that were committed against black men, it was legal. Black men and women. It was legal. It was completely legal. You could treat your slaves however you wanted to treat them, because they were your property. They were your assets. Despite all this oppression, all these horrible acts that were committed against black men and black women, despite the efforts of trying to crush the mentality of one day I might be free, one day I'm gonna overcome this, one day things are going to change, despite trying to crush their hopes and dreams, black men and women still had hope, and they still dreamed. The purpose of beating black men and women, as crucially as they were beat, was to try to suppress any revolutionary ideas, any thoughts of bonding together and overthrowing their masters, because and I apologize, I don't use that term, masters. They're slave owners. They thought if they could continue to beat them and oppress them, that they would stay subservient to their slave owners, because the slaves outnumbered the slave owners. But it was the mental effect that all the beating and the lynchings, seeing others lynched, seeing others castrated, seeing others' faces disfigured. It was the threat of what they could do to you that kept a lot of black people from taking action. But you know what? Despite all those actions, and despite all the anger and the hatred and the tearing apart of the black family, black people still found a way to birth entrepreneurs throughout the midst of all this. They still found a way to birth great orators and great musicians, doctors and lawyers. They were still inspired, and they still dreamed of freedom. They still had hope, which is why I think black man is considered one of the most dangerous men on the face of this earth. Despite being treated worse than an animal could ever be treated, we still found a way to have hope. We still found a way to rise up above those circumstances. We still found a way to fight for our freedom. We still found a way to say is enough. Enough is enough. We're not taking this no more. Still found the courage to run away. Still found the courage to fight back. Still found the courage to say we're not taking this anymore. That's why I think the black man is so feared by white America. And I'm not saying you guys that are watching this video, but I'm saying those that were back then, slave owners, those that have had those same sentiments passed down to them from generation to generation, you know why the black man is so feared. And I say to you, once again, if you don't agree with my videos and this Black Lives Matter movement, I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing this for subscribes. I'm doing this because it needs to be done. I'm doing this because our voices need to be heard. I'm doing this because we're tired of being killed. I'm doing this because too many men that look like me have been murdered. Too many officers have gone scot-free. Too many officers have been acquitted of all charges. And I'm tired of it. So it's your boy, let us pray. I hope you have a blessed and prosperous day. Every black man, every black woman that's watching this, every race, doesn't matter what race you are. You know what? I don't have any hatred or animosity towards any white man or any woman. However, you will have to earn my trust just like anybody else. But I don't stereotype anybody by what they look like upon initially seeing them, and I urge you guys to do the same. Have a blessed and prosperous Monday, y'all. Take care and be blessed. Peace and out.